Welcome back everyone to the Blender Creator course, Stylized 3D Model. Now, one thing I did forget to do is, I forgot to put a guy on here and make our banister. Let's make our banister first, because actually that banister is going to make it easy to do the other side as well. Let's put him on here, and that's the sort of height. Let's spin him around as well, so he's looking out, so 180. There we go. Let's pull him back a little bit. And then what we'll do now is we'll create our banister on here. So basically, whenever you're creating a banister, you want it to be where his hands would kind of reach up and rest on it, and he could lean on it and look over. That's the kind of height that you're looking for. So let's first of all create these supports. So I'm going to press Shift S, cursor selected, Shift A. Let's bring in a cube. Let's make the cube much smaller. And all we're going to really do here is just get like, right, where do we want these parts? Let's pull it into here. Put it right in this corner. Like so. So that's going to be the main support. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lift this up now. So pull it up like so. And you can see if I put it there, I can put then a banister over here. So I think I'm going to start with this. So I'm going to press Shift D, bring it over like so. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this part, Shift D, bring it over to the next one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this smaller now. So I'm going to press S and X, bring it in, and then S and Y, and bring it in like so. And now I can actually shrink this down a little bit. So I'm going to pull this down a little bit like so. Now let's bring this to the next part. But before we do that, let's give it some edge loops. So Control R, left click, right click like so. Let's then bring it over. So Shift D, bring it over to the next one. Shift D, like so. Like so. And like so. So finally now we just need to make sure that these are high enough. Now I'm thinking I'm going to have a top on here, but they probably need to be a little bit higher because we can see it's just like where you, it's probably going to be really belly button is where it should kind of go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all of these. I can actually do them all at the same time. Press Ctrl J, and then what I'm going to do is just grab the tops of them all. So come in, grab all the tops like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lift them up to be a little bit higher. And I think that looks actually a bit better. All right, so now let's think about this top bit. So I'm going to press Shift S, cursor selected. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab this. So Shift D, just to duplicate that top bit. S and X to pull it out a little bit. And then S and Y to pull it in to these parts. So I don't want it going into there. I just want it slightly out of there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this up. So E, pull it up like so. And I want it just below there. So just below here. And it's still in there as you can see. Then I'm going to bring in some edge loops. So Control R. Make sure there's one that's in the center. So this one in the center. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to round this off. So if I bring this up, we can see. I grab these two then. And just round that off. As easy as that. And that looks pretty nice. All right, so we've got that. Now let's let's bring these round the other side and bring this round the other side as well, because actually it's really easy to do this part. So if I press L, Shift D, and then R, Z, 90, what I can actually do is I can actually bring this then round into the actual wall. So you can see it slots in really nicely there, like so. And then what I can do is I can bring it over to the other side. Should I mirror it? Probably not. I'm not going to actually mirror it because what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it over and see how that's then going to fit in there. Now I can see that I do have one little problem in that this here, this probably needs to come across a little bit. So let's grab the whole thing and grab this as well. And then what we'll do is we'll just move it over very slightly. And I'm going to put another piece of wood, I think, in there just under this. So a little block of wood in there. What I'm also going to do as well is I'm going to come to this part here. And I think I want to just bend this actually in. So I'm going to go into my wall, zoom in. I'm going to grab this part here, just this part here, and then come out. And then what I'm going to do is put proportion editing on. And I'm just going to pull it out like so and just move it just a little bit so it's a little bit bent. Like so. I'm just wondering if I've actually may have bent that a bit too much. Let's pull this back and grab this one, pull it back a little bit and double tap the A. Yeah, and I think actually, maybe, yeah, I think I'm actually going to be okay with that. All right. Okay, so you can see that this bit probably needs coming down as well. So if I grab this, you can see I've still got available to pull it down. So I'll pull it down a little bit as well. And then what I'll do now is I'll come in with these parts. So Shift D. Let's take off proportional editing. Let's bring them out. And then RZ, spin them around because obviously we want them the other way around. And let's put them into place. So I'm going to put one here. And I'm going to put one next to it. So over here. And pull it over a little bit just so it's under there. And then what I'm going to do is grab this one, Shift D, pull it over the other side so it's going under, like so, and then Shift D, and then just bring in another one, put it into place like so. There we go. All right, that's looking pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. Now let's come in and think about warping these a little bit. So let's press Control A, right click, shade, auto smooth. Let's right click and set origin to geometry, add in a modifier. We're going to look for a bevel. Let's turn it all the way down, turn it up 1. There we go. That's looking cool. Let's also give it some material. So I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to press Control L, link materials, and then I'm going to press A to grab all of just this one. So A, U, Smart UV Project, click OK. Let's have a look what that's looking like. That's looking pretty nice. Double tap the A. Yeah, and there we go. That's looking what I wanted. I'm just wondering if I want to change the material on this top part, but actually I don't think that's going to work out too well if I do that. So I think I'm actually going to leave it like this. I'm looking as well to make sure that the wood is the same as this wood on here, which it looks like it is. So yeah, I'm happy with how that's actually turned out. So now what we want to do is I'm going to actually create another window, I think. So I'm just going to create a window. What's going to go in there? It's going to be a much simpler window than what we've previously been creating. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press Shift A, bring in a plane, spin my plane round, so RY 90. I'm going to press Control 3. I'm going to press S and Y just to bring it in. And I'm going to bring it up to here, S and Z, bring it down, and I think that might be the right size. Let's have a look. We'll put it in there. Maybe a little bit longer. Yeah, that sort of size. All right, that's the size I want. So from here, I can actually create this window, as I said, pretty easily. So all I'm going to do is Control A or transforms, right click, set origin to geometry. I'm going to actually save out my work as well. I'm also just checking the time to make sure that I've got time to create some of this at least. I'm going to press Control R, 2, left click, right click, Control 3, S and Z. If it doesn't move, make sure you've got medium point on. So S and Z, pull it out like so. Remember to keep the chunkiness about the same as this part here. And then what we'll do is we'll do the other way. So Control R, 2, left click, right click, S and X, S and Y, sorry, pull them out like so. All right, that's going to be the first bit. So now what we'll do is we'll grab these, and these, press Y, grab the middle bit, press Y, and yeah, that should be good for our window to start with. So now what I can do is I can actually come out and grab, let's have a look, grab all of these. And what I'm going to do is press E and pull them out like so. And then I'm going to come to the middle part. I'm going to pull that out a little bit. And then what I'm going to do now, I'm thinking I will press the I button first. Like so. Now the one thing is, I'm just wondering if it's wide enough, if this window is actually wide enough, or if I've gone a little bit too much on these. I'm thinking now just pull it out and make it a little bit, just a little bit wider. And I'm wondering then, on these parts here, I'm going to pull them back a little bit. So I'm going to pull this one back and this one back. Yeah, I'm going to pull them back together as well. So I'm going to grab this one and this one, S and Y. I'm going to pull them back together. Yeah, and I think that actually looks better. And then I'm going to grab this part and I'm going to press S and Y and pull that back into place like so. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate this part out. So I'm going to press Y and then I'm going to grab these ones going here, these ones going here, press Y to separate them. Grab both of these. I'm going to press E then to pull them out. Now we do have one little bit of an issue here in that this top window, so this top window, it should be separated. So I didn't think about that. In other words, I should have a frame going along here. Let's just split it up again. So before we do that, you can see here we've got this. Before we went back to here, so if I press Control Shift and Z, we've got this so far on here. But what I want to do before doing that, so before actually bringing these in, I'm going to go all the way back actually. So before bringing these in now, I'm going to then pull it out first. So S and Y, sorry, like so. I'm going to then bring in these parts. So S and Y, like so. And that's perfect. Then I'm going to pull this out, S and Y. And now from here, now I can actually create a halfway point. So Control R, left click, right click, like so. And now what I want to do is I want to create a frame in each of these. So I'm going to grab this one, Y, and then what I'm going to do, grab this one. And now if I press I should be able to bring both of those in like so. That is what I want. Perfect. That's what I want. And the reason I want that is if I press Y now, I can bring these out and we should be left with this. But these are split off. So you can see these and these are all split off. That is what I want. If I pull this out now with E, now if I grab this top one, what I can do is I can pull this out a bit further than the bottom one. And now we've got a window that looks as though it can open and close. And the reason we want that is, of course, because we want our guy to be able to climb out of this window if he wants to. So that's why we've done that. Now let's come back to these parts. And all I want to do with these is I want to press Control R, left click, right click. Same with this one. So Control R, left click, right click, Control R, left click, right click, Control R, left click, right click. And then all we're going to do is we're going to press Control B and pull this out to make those windows. And finally then E, pull them out like so. Now I should be able to grab all of this, put them into place. So I'm going to put this one into place there and then grab this one, put it into place here like so. And there we go. Look how quick we made that window. Really, really easy using these techniques. All right, so I'm happy with that. I might need to pull this one back a little bit, I think. But apart from that, then on the next lesson, we can start beveling these and then it'll really come to life and then get the materials on. All right, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed that and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.